Wow, as you can see, it is a beautiful day here in beautiful city of Las Vegas, where in just 24 hours we will see Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton face off for the last time. It's going to make history in many ways. For the first time, a Fox News Channel anchor is going to moderate a general election debate, the one and only fair and balanced Chris Wallace. We know he will do a stellar job, but it's going to be the final opportunity for the nominees to make their case before tens of millions of American voters. If it's anything like the last two, we're going to be in for quite a show.
Maybe he's not as rich as he says he is. Or maybe he doesn't want the American people, all of you watching tonight, to know that he's paid nothing in federal taxes. So
that makes
if
me
he's
smart.
Paid,
Secretary Clinton.
whew, okay.
This was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I apologize to my family. I apologize to the American people. Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women and attacked them viciously.
When they go low, you go high.
Believe me, she has tremendous hate in her heart.
Okay, Donald, I know you're into big diversion tonight.
Honest Abe never lied. That's the big difference between Abraham Lincoln and you.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
All right, that was some of the highlights, or maybe some of the lowlights, depending on your perspective. But, Dana, what do you expect for tomorrow night? More of this or a little reserved?
Well, this is, as you said, is the most important event to date. Although I think you could argue that the first debate was one of the most important, because that set the trajectory for the closing arguments that takes place in the last 6 weeks. Donald Trump is down in the polls. He's had an interesting strategy in the last couple of weeks, which I think is just burn it all down. If he comes in with that attitude tomorrow night, I think that will motivate his supporters and probably not do much to get him the help that he needs in order to get the win across the goal line.
Sure.
Touchdown across the goal line or something.
Line.
Touch home base. Touch home base. Something like that in the goal in the net. I think for him, he could come out and just try to say, she's been here 30 years. Nothing's gotten done. If you want change, I'm the one for you. And I think he focuses on emails and the foundation. Yeah. Those are the two things. For her, I think it's she has to bring energy, and she has to show a willingness to push back, which she's shown. But she also has to somehow say, here's my vision for the country. Neither of them have really been able to do that in the past two debates.
All right, so can Donald Trump, and I think Dana's right, he's got to stay to issues, but if he goes off and starts, you know, talking about the Bill Clinton scandals and whatnot, what's Hillary Clinton's response?
Well, I mean, Hillary is lucky. She doesn't have to do anything in this debate. This is Donald Trump's last opportunity to go after people that are on the fence. I've been on the fence so long, I need preparation H.
What else is new?
So I've been thinking about this. That I have a golden rule. I would rather vote for someone that I dislike than someone who hates me. So I know that I may have issues with Trump, but I know that Hillary hates people like me. She hates my achievements. She hates where I work. She hates the kind of person I am. She hates my friends. So it would be like me voting for her would be like the Bloods voting for the Crips. So I think, so where does that lead? My advice to Donald Trump, which I have here on this sheet of paper, is you have to tell people.
Oh boy.
You have to tell people, look, you don't want to vote for me because you may not like me, all right? You may not like me. But let's say you have a surgeon, right? You have a top-notch surgeon with a lousy personality and a terrible surgeon with a sparkling personality, and you're going in for surgery, or your mother's going in for surgery. Do you really care if you like that person? I think that's the argument he has to make. Is that a sound argument, America?
Yes, Greg, it is. Hear a thawing of the gut freeze out of the Trump. There's a possibility
I've never been,
there might be a Trump vote in the gut fell.
Every time I go, Trump, then I see some of Hillary's supporters just anger me so with their stupid, condescending crap, and then I just bounce back, and then Trump says something stupid, and then I go back to her, and then she says something stupid, and I'm like a ping-pong ball.
Volleyball.
And same size.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Totally unfair.
This speaks for the group of very conservative New Yorkers, and they don't love Trump, they don't hate Trump, but they all dislike Hillary. That was clear. So I asked them, how many people could never vote for Hillary? They raised their hand. I said, well, if you don't vote for Hillary, it's a vote for Trump, right? Look at it this way. That door right there, it's a guaranteed death sentence. That door right there, you have a 50-50 chance. You may die by going through that door, but you might survive. All right,
That doesn't sound
so hyperbole, but if you know and you're sure in
How about
your heart
possibly badly injured?
that Hillary is not she's terrible for the country, don't you at least have to try the other door?
Well, he's made that argument, and he said, what do you have to lose? And he said that in outreach to independents, to minority voters, African-American community, to say, give me a try. You've tried their way. She's been in politics for 20-plus years. This is more of the same way of Clinton corruption, crooked, lying, email deletion, sacrificing people in, Benghazi, lack of focus on national security. I think he needs to not defend himself, and I think he needs to talk about the issues that really work for him that we saw in so much of the exit polling. Talk about the economy. That's one poll that he's definitely been ahead compared to Hillary Clinton. The people trust him to do a better job with the economy, with infrastructure, with free market, that type of thing. Hit her on the emails for sure. Show that, yes, in fact, she's unfit because she's already been given a chance to demonstrate whether or not she's worthy of the job as it relates to government, and that she has failed the American people. The people aren't better off than they were before, and that more men are out of work in this country and not able to provide for their families. Talk to the people that way, and I think it'll work.
Juan, your good friend, Chris Wallace, will be moderating this debate, and you've moderated debates in the past. Will Chris be able to keep these two on issues, as everyone's pointed out, or if it goes off into some of these tangents, will he let them?
He's got to let them, he's got to let them go off in a tangent. If they start talking to each other, if there's a direct response to a comment from the other, I think Chris's take is he doesn't want to be the news here. He doesn't want to be the star of the show. They're the star. Let them settle the fight. And it's much like, the 12th round of a big fight here in Vegas. All of a sudden, you think, where'd that ref go? Because everything, you better protect yourself, son, because this is a real fight.
Keep your hands up.
And so right
but
now...
make sure you fight 12 rounds.
But right now,
Right.
what you got for her is the reality that in the first two debates, she did so well. She has been on a straight tangent up since both debates. So the question is, I don't know what Greg is ping-pong balling back and forth because she's been out of the picture the last few days. She hasn't been around.
No, but I guess what I'm saying is when you see how arrogant and disgusting some of her supporters have been towards people, you go like, I don't want to be around those people for 4 years.
Oh, yeah, really. And if I look at the inside the Trump campaign and I see what the Bannons of the world are doing and what the people he's fired, I wouldn't have any
But where did they learn that? The right is learning from the left.
And he's right, and she thinks it's okay to divide minorities and women into classifications of
please. Who is more polarizing than Donald Trump? But let me get back to what I was saying, which is, so for her, right now, I think the question is, does she fight with him in the way that she did in the first two debates? It worked for her. Or does she do what Dana touched on, which is, look, she's got this thing pretty much sewed up at this point in terms of the polls. And does she then say, hey, you know what, I'm going to offer the vision to the country. I'm taking the high road. Trump, on the other hand, can do this. He can say, this is so nasty, so dirty. I'm going to get so despicable. I'm going to turn off everybody and hope their people stay home.
Let's use your boxing analogy. If it's a 12-round bout and he's down going into the 12th round, you start looking for that haymaker. You start looking for that knockout.
That's correct.
All right, let's do this. Let's
take the knockout punch when it comes.
Or, you know what, we are in Vegas, Eric. People do impulsive things. They could just stare each other in the eyes and go, let's get the hell out of here. And they go to a drive-through chapel, they get married, and they run to the Dominican Republic, and you never see them again.
Yeah, that
could happen.
Don't bet on that one. All right.
We got another day here.
Has a fertile decline with female voters as the election nears. Will they give him a second chance after that Access Hollywood tape emerged? His wife has forgiven him. Melania Trump made an appeal to women voters in a new interview with Fox and Friends' Ainsley Earhardt. Listen.
What do you say to women that are watching, women voters, female voters, that haven't been able to get past it? What do you say to them? What's your message to women?
My husband is kind. He's a gentleman. He cares about people. He cares about women. He pushes them to the best level they could be. He gives them a chance to prosper in his organization and in his campaign. And he's not the man that we heard him on the tape.
All right, KG, a lot of women voters were probably listening to that saying, you know what, if she can forgive him, so can I. Do you
Yeah,
agree?
and that kind of worked at the time with Hillary Clinton when people felt sorry for her when Bill Clinton was cheating on her. But I'll tell you what, but I know, there's your show, I know Melania personally. She's a really lovely person. She's really warm, very friendly. She loves her husband. She's a great mom. She's very devoted to Barron. So, you know, I think this is a tough position for her to be in. People can relate to that. This is not anything that anybody would want to have come out, especially after you were just married with your husband. But that's between them. And you have to decide whether or not that affects his fitness to be able to serve as president. And that's an issue that voters may go for.
Kimberly just nailed it in the first sentence. She said this is exactly what Hillary did, and it's exactly what we were making fun of Hillary for. Hillary standing by her man. Hillary besmirching the women that were with Bill. Now, she says that it was...
Well, Melania didn't do that.
Well, she said it was a coordinated thing, and she also said women come up to her husband all the time and hit on her and give her phone numbers. She was dismissing it. Right. She was dismissing it. But it's an important point to make.
It's very important.
Very fair. Now, what it has done effectively has removed that criticism. You can no longer go after Hillary.
So,
on that.
Well, okay. I've said this since this whole tape came out. That is not right. I don't think what he said was right. I have a loving wife that I would never, ever, ever treat that way, and we've taught our son not to. That said, is there room for forgiveness on the Trump side for the women voters?
I just don't think that. I don't know. And I don't think anybody blames Melania Trump for it. I do question, and we can get into the B block, I absolutely question the campaign's media strategy with putting her out on these interviews. I would have done it much differently because she's a huge asset to the campaign, and I think that was not the best use of her time yesterday. But I also think if you look at the polls, a lot of Republican voters said the tape didn't bother them that much, but that Hillary's argument that he is unfit to be commander-in-chief, that's the thing that has stuck more. So I don't know if that even matters in terms of the forgiveness. I don't think the women voters are coming back.
What do you think, Juan? Is there a way for, at this 21 days left, for Trump to gain some of the women vote back?
No, I mean, that deal's over. And, you know, the most effective thing was when he apologized. He said, you know, it was inappropriate language. And the question is, do you take what Trump said to be sincere? The polls indicate that most people don't. Right. So, I mean, that's what I read. So, from my perspective, when I saw her last night, I thought, boy, this is a big step because she has not been out. They kept her, I think, away after the fiasco at the convention with the plagiarism, Michelle Obama and all that. She comes out and says Billy Bush, the NBC guy who got fired yesterday, he's to blame. He was just pushing Donald Trump. And I thought, I'm not feeling so good about this.
I think that's another case where they're throwing a guy under the bus. When you know, the first thing Donald did was he well, my golf partner Bill Clinton said worse, and then it's now it's Billy Bush's fault. It's like that you're violating the guy code. As Tyrus once said, you know, you don't blame it on another guy.
Final thought.
I was going to say that you got to try anyway. I wouldn't concede the women's vote. Obviously, it's going to be an uphill battle. But you know what? I embarrassed myself, my wife, my daughter, my children. For that, I'm greatly sorry, and for my supporters that I let down. Believe me from my heart that I've learned, I've grown through this campaign. Let me make it up to you. Let me be the best president we've seen in this country. Let me create jobs. Let me make the women in this country feel safe from a national security standpoint. Let me be good with the military. Let me repeal and replace Obamacare and go down the list. And
Kimberly for president. Kimberly for president.
That's an excellent speech you should have given 2 weeks ago. Instead, he took a different tack and attacked the women that were the accusers.
Yeah.
But a great speech.
We have
that
more.
was good.
We have more.